Come on.
All right. You know what time it is. It's FranchisOR Bust. Trevor's here. Katie.
Hey there. How are you?
Katie's here, and we are super pumped to have an expert in the world of franchising joining us today. He is the man with the plan, and don't call it a comeback for cakes because it's going to be nothing but Russ Jundt. How you doing?
Top notch, man. You're doing top notch. I love it. Thanks, Trevor. Thanks for having me on. Katie, thanks for having me.
Of course. Glad you're here.
What we're here to talk about today is Conserva Irrigation and the journey that Russ has gone on with this brand and how it's bringing water and vital necessary resource to folks all over the country that have a need. So Russ, again, thank you so much. We love talking to folks who are at the franchisor level, but also have experience like you do at the franchisee level to get your perspective here in the world of franchising. But before we get more into that and sort of some of your philosophies, just tell us a little bit about Conserva Irrigation. Where'd you guys come from and where are you at?
Yeah, right on. So founded in Minneapolis, Minnesota, just north of Minneapolis, little town called Andover and Ham Lake area. And the concept's was real simple by nature. I was a franchisee of Mosquito Squad at the time. I was the first franchisee, my business partner and I, of Mosquito Squad about 15, 16 years ago, in fact. Loved franchising, loved the model, loved the opportunity to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. The whole idea of franchising was new to me, but I just fell in love with it. And had been in underground utility construction and had been in irrigation briefly, and was really dissatisfied with irrigation quite a bit, simply because there was a lot of lack of planning, a lot of lack of business acumen. It was kind of sort of made up of a lot of mom and pop shops, if you will, real fragmented and commoditized in pricing. And in Minnesota, we love our water. We don't hug every tree. Most we do, right? And we certainly love water. And I live on the water there on a boat in the summer months. And then same thing here now in Florida. I live on the water. So just exceptionally felt that water was very, very important. And started to learn the system that about 1.5 billion gallons of water is wasted every single day, every day in the U.S., 1.5 billion gallons because of overwatering lawns and landscapes, both in commercial and residential areas. And so wanting to get back into irrigation and having great success at Mosquito Squad and loving the franchise opportunity, jumped right back in and said, man, we got to purchase a franchise in irrigation. And so looked around and guess what? No such thing. And so that led to an incredible journey. And I studied the industry for almost a year, went to my first Irrigation Association national show in Phoenix, Arizona. And that was a kid in a candy store. I just loved it. And they started talking at that time, this is 2010, started talking about smart irrigation, high efficient nozzles, smart controllers, things I'd never heard when I was in irrigation prior. And I thought, this is our platform. We can definitely start a company. And that started the journey.
One thing that we've noticed that is really important, especially at kind of the franchisor slash, unique to be able to talk to you as the founder, which is really cool, but really just in the positions of, leadership in the franchisor space, how important the passion is for the product and how really that matters. You touched on, hey, I noticed not only, was it a business I was interested in? I thought it was cool, but then I started finding out how much water is wasted, what kind of interesting things I can do. So talk to us a little bit about, how that passion has kind of not only fueled you before, but why it's fueling you to want to grow now.
Yeah, it's a great word, by the way. At Conserva Irrigation 2022, by the way, it's the year of relentless passion. Last year was the year of greatness, right? Taking our rightful position at number one in the landscape irrigation space. Check the box. We're the largest now. In the second year is now Relentless Passion, which all of this is on a 10-year journey of what we call the decade of dominance, right? How we're continually grow the platform and grow our business. Yeah, man. So dominant. You got it. So we have the ring of dominance. We have all this stuff, right? We hand out to our guys that once you're at 2.5 million in production and sales, right? And we have the $1 million watch, which dang it, I always wear my watch. Didn't wear it today, but it's pretty cool. So we're all about preparation, but it is passion. You gotta absolutely love what you do, and you're going to beat 95% of the competition just by showing up, being passionate, and caring about what you do. And that's really what we have at the core. And water, I'll tell you what, water is a finite exceptionally scarce resource. And it's sad how much we're just wasting it arbitrarily, just spewing it out into sidewalks and streets and overwatering the lawns, during raining events, just after rain events. And shame on the industry. Shame on the industry for continuing in that practice. Now that they have the knowledge, it's a chance for everyone to change and be passionate about water conservation. And these aren't difficult tactics. These are very common sense tactics. Let's just take a look at the yard. Let's just find any areas that have leaks or lateral line leaks, mainline leaks, broken heads, broken nozzles, missing nozzles, things like that. Very common sense. And then let's get in towards better design, and then also smart types of efficiency upgrades with smart controllers or high efficient nozzles, etc. But you got to be passionate about what you do. And the homeowners love that. They want somebody that knows what they're doing. They're a subject matter expert. They're showing up there to solve their problem. And if we can reduce their water usage and subsequently their water bills by 40 to 60%, that becomes infectious. And then it goes neighbor to neighbor, neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood. And that's how we're really taking on this market right now.
So you got the passion. We're ready to dominate. How do the franchisees play in? So we know that you've got your game plan and you're ready to rock and roll. How important is kind of, the role that the boots on the ground are playing for you all and those franchisees and what's really kind of maybe their, I guess, like path to success with Conserva Irrigation once they come on board?
Franchising is all about systems. You got to have the systems in place, right? You got to have proof of concept. I brought Conserva Irrigation to Outdoor Living Brands, our parent company, which is now Outdoor Living Brands and Links Franchising combined as a platform. And I brought it there on purpose because I didn't want to, at the risk of franchisees losing money, the first franchisees, I didn't want to just try it on my own, right? I wanted to bring it to a proven franchisor. And so that was key. And I had a great experience with them along the way. So the key is with franchisees, you got to have proof of concept. You got to have the unit economics at the franchisee level have to be exceptionally strong, have to be exceptionally profitable and proven. And again, it's in the best interest of the franchisee at heart. And when we take care of our franchisees, and we do, the franchisor ultimately gets taken care of. So I'm asked many, many times, Trevor, what's the founding principles of Conserva Irrigation? Is it really all about water and water conservation? And I say, absolutely. That's number two. The first founding principle is I wanted to create a business whereby we create more financially independent business owners in the green industry that had ever been done before in mow, blow, snow, weed feed, fir tree, mulch, parking lot sweep, and irrigation. And I wanted to make for sure we had a platform that would provide that vehicle. And so that's what we have is a bunch of passionate owners coming in, understanding being first to market is a key advantage. Right? You're competing against the average dudette going down the street with a magnet at best on their truck, and you're able to run up the score and get market share exceptionally quickly. So that's what it really comes down to is the boots on the ground, finding like-minded individuals, great business acumen from a variety of backgrounds, and willing to come in and run up the score.
Awesome. Well, hey, I need you. I use one of the dudes. And he just comes by with a magnet, and my irrigation system's all kind of busted. So that you sold me just now. Yeah. So I'll tell you something else for us. I think that's great. So you've got the passion. We're rolling on dominance. We've got our franchisees rocking and rolling. You guys are, what some would consider to be still sort of in that emerging phase in terms of just growth scale. And I'm sure the scale that you're ultimately looking to get to for where you want to go. What are some key factors in growing, outside of just, hey, check us out. We know we are great and we know you're going to make great money. What are some other tactics you guys are using to try to grow your presence and grow the amount of franchisees that you can attract to your brand to sign on?
Yeah, so we ended up outsourcing our franchise development. We had it internal, and we thought we want to go to the next level much more quickly. And so we did that through a proven company called Franchise Fastlane. And so now we've partnered with them, and I'll tell you what, they're a machine. And so they're able to get the name out there amongst all the different business consultants, right, and get us in front of the key players. And they're the ones that are bird dogging, trying to find all the folks that are looking for, to pivot in their career and maybe looking to own their own business and all that good stuff. So we've partnered with them. We're bringing on a clip now of 25 to 30 new franchise owners per year. We go through a very, very robust vetting process. Of course, we want to make for sure that they're they're they fit the culture, they're the right individual, they're properly capitalized, and all that good stuff. But the key is to really put fuel on that fire. Starting to clip along at 25, we did last year. We'll hit 30 to 35 this year, and we'll continue on that growth pattern. We have 63 franchise owners today. With licensed territories, the multi-unit owners, we have about 155 to 160 licensed territories. By the end of 2025, we'll have over 200 owners, and we'll have in excess of 400 licensed territories. And then we're just getting started and having fun.
Congratulations. That's badass. So multi-unit guys, got to love those, right? Is that a big, certainly a big part of your strategy for growth?
It is, for sure. But a lot of franchise owners, each of our territories are based upon population, zip codes, things like that, right? So 300,000 in pop, and you can run one heck of a large business in that. And we keep our business owners very tightly routed because higher gross profit margins come about, being able to keep your routes tight, keep your technicians working right, neighborhood by neighborhood type thing. But the growth strategy for the franchise owners is ultimately to get 2 and sometimes 3 territories for future growth, because they absolutely want to take in and dominate a marketplace. And so that's a huge strategy, of course.
For sure. So talk about a little bit then, you've got your systems in place, which is obviously super needed. One thing that we know to be true, just in speaking with so many other franchisors and kind of understanding the space, is that when you're in that emerging territory and, you've got you have your game plan ready to go. One thing I like to hear, and I heard from you a minute ago, was how you're spending to try and grow. You're not going maybe the grassroots route or the cheap route necessarily. You're going hey, I got a plan and I'm going to invest, and this investment's going to pay off. Talk about maybe just if you've seen some maybe just other experiences in your life where, maybe going the more conservative route didn't work out so good, and maybe why you understand that, hey, this is something I got to really put into if we're going to get ultimately what I'm looking for.
Yeah, you got it, man. So bootstrapping, right? Just taking your time and bootstrapping, and that doesn't work out exceptionally well when you start to attract others to your business that have lofty goals and timeframes of which they want to achieve. And so you've got to put fuel on the fire, and you got to put, not only your passion, but you got to put time, energy, and especially money investment into it. So we've doubled down year after year, and we consistently invest in all of our systems and platforms. Some of the most recent things that we've invested in, all the way down to the technician level, is we embarked on a 24-month journey with a gentleman in sales, right? He taught all of our technicians sales. He taught our franchise owners sales, with the admin, the first to answer the phone, sales. Went through and did all the scripting, did all the video scripting and shadowing and stuff. So we have all of these great repositories where literally the technician, when they show up at the doorstep, they know exactly what they need to do, what they need to look like, ring the doorbell, 3 steps back, one step down, and how to engage with that consumer in a 60 to 90 second uplift, and how to make that sale. And we use a very well-developed proprietary sales process that is exceptionally well received by the consumer. And it's just pre-baking the sale, and it's handing over a warm transfer from the first point of contact all the way to the doorstep. And then we developed a proprietary system for sales, which is called our SES, or System Efficiency Score. We invested all sorts of time, energy, and efforts. We developed that over the last 10 years. And that thing is proven because it guides the consumer to make the right decisions, to be more thoughtful and more efficient with their water, thus reducing their water spend, right, and their water usage. And then but another thing that we just are investing in right now is an LMS system, right? Learning management software. This is a huge investment for us. And nobody ever in the history of our industry has ever done this, right? So we've retained a company, and really what it is, it's 25 different individual steps that a technician has to go through in groups of clumps of 5, right? So at every single one of these steps, right? First 5, they become a junior tech. The next 5, they become the next level. And consequently, their pay goes up, right? So it's a homogenous training experience across the U.S. We can ratify it, make for sure that we have the right technicians with the right training and the right certifications. And then they're rewarded to go through that process. And this is an online, both in video assets, illustrative assets, and also on on the job type of training, but we're ratifying that. That'll be unrolled and unveiled on April 1st this year. So we're super excited about that because we're going to see great results.
I'll tell you what, with that sales strategy, you sound like the Wolf of Irrigation Street. I mean, you've got it processed. It's down. This guy, we're ready. I love it. And yeah, you're really just kind of reinforcing that truism of, hey, we got big plans. We don't plan to be stuck at 100, locations or 150 locations. We plan to really grow, and you got to put the groundwork in at the beginning and in that investment at the beginning to really move that along. Something that, you were also kind of touching on is a little bit of the technology side. And I imagine in your space in particular, that most people, just average people, would not associate a lot of tech with the irrigation piece. But I kind of would imagine there's certainly a role there to be played, and one that can be played to enhance efficiencies, and one that can be played to enhance, your business model. So you mentioned that one piece of tech. Is there any other kind of just like general tech tech achievements or things you're looking at in your space as you operate now and as you look to the future?
Yeah, we're constantly pressing forward on technology. Technology is key. And what's key, what's awesome about it is that we have every technician out there, right? Got their smartphone or they got their iPad, and that they're running their entire business from that. So we used to use an out of the box CRM system. We outgrew that. Their technology engineers can keep up with our demands, and they're lofty and they're big goals, and they're ever evolving, right? And they have to be. And so we set out on our own, and we created our own proprietary CRM software system, and it's all fully integrated. It's a full CRM enterprise system, and that really all the way from the first phone call, and if you were to call our office, we know instantly the next 5 times we're within 1, 2, 3 miles of your house, right? Specifically, how to best route that out there. All the notes go into that. The technician knows that coming up, the whole history of ever being on your property, any of the wins that we've had for you, et cetera. And then all the way to water management. So now we're getting into the next level of technology through some of our partnerships that we're actually monitoring water usage remotely. We know if your system at 2 a.m., if the head breaks off, right? So somebody backs out of the driveway after coming over to Trevor's house for a couple of drinks, they're backing out, bam, they crack a head off there, right? We know instantly that there's a leak on that system. And that integrates
almost weekly.
Exactly. So that integrates, right? That integrates seamlessly to our through an open API to our CRM system. And we know there's something up with that system. There's a leak or a misfire or something's going on. In the days of just a simple timer where you set it and forget it, none of us, if you think about heating your house, right, or cooling your house, we all have thermostats, and you think, well, of course you do. Well, why wouldn't we have something similar for our irrigation system like that? We don't just go and say, okay, now it's December or January 20th. Today we're going to heat for 9 hours in Nashville. You don't know that. You might have a 70-degree day in January. You might have a 10 below day. So it's always reacting to the actual ambient temperature and the temperature inside the house. Well, it's the same thing. Why do we have irrigation contractors come over to our house when they start up the system in March? And they go, yeah, we'll set it for 40 minutes a zone for rotors and 20 minutes for sprays. And we'll just let it do that in March and April and May and June and July and August, September, October, November, December. Makes no sense. We need more water at certain times of the year and less water at other times of the year. So now with technology, we're through the internet. Right at that homeowner, we're actually plugged into and triangulating between 3 and 5 weather stations. So we know exactly what's happening with weather, exactly at that household. And then not only that, we have 40 years of historical weather built into that smart controller. So now we know how we should be watering on any given day, especially if we lose connectivity briefly. But then we know what's happening exactly that same day. And then we have forward looking, which is the same thing. Why would I water this coming evening at 2 a.m. when I have an 85% chance of rain on Saturday? Why not take advantage of the free rain? So that's what's exciting about the industry is it's just evolving. There's so much technology. Conserva's on the forefront of it. We're on many of the manufacturing boards, which are actually helping develop a lot of this technology as well. And we're going to continue to drive the needle until we get it right. And the consumer's eating it up. They love it.
Passion, technology, sales, unit economics, you guys are rocking and rolling. And, Katie, I know the wheel is biased, and it seems as though it often is going to point us toward bust, but let's give it a whirl anyways. Everything that we've heard so far, I think we're going to franchise. We're not going to bust, but let's check it out. Oh boy, that biased wheel. So close. I don't believe it. That thing's rigged. Anyways,
I saw her
Russ,
drag her pinky finger. Katie, I saw that. That was on purpose. Shame on you.
I know. Well, I gotta keep it interesting.
She's notorious for that. And I'll tell you, it's something about that 1 out of 12 chance of hitting the right deal. Yeah. So Russ, man, really cool stuff and things that we really learned here. Not only about the way that you've got your business framed. Obviously, you came from franchising, so you understood that. You knew the importance of systems. You knew the importance of making sure you've got great unit economics to attract franchisees, et cetera. But you, based on everything we hear, like you really care, you really like this stuff. And that to me is the biggest takeaway for why, you guys are successful now and your decade of dominance is just literally right around the corner.
You got it. And it does. It comes down to the people. And it's one of those things that's found you feel, right? You don't love any of your children more than the other. But you treat them somewhat differently, right? And you know exactly what it takes to spur them on. And there's never been a test in my opinion anyway, never been a test that looks inside the heart of a man or a woman that knows whether or not they got the goodies or not. And that's what I love about this, man. He's even playing field. You could be a COO, CEO, former VP, super uber successful in your former career. You could be coming from the green industry of any sorts or even the irrigation industry or anything in between. It's a level playing field. And those with the passion, the desire, and the ability to follow a playbook win. And we rejoice and we have fun and we invest in our staff so that we've got the ratios of business coaches to franchisees. We keep that exceptionally low right now at about 15-1 because we want to be there. We want to be there helping every single day, every single week, and helping them become more and more profitable, ultimately to sell the business. And that's what people do, right? They build them to sell them, like John Warlow's book, right? So build to sell, and that's our mantra. So we want to make for sure that we are successful as a company, but it all starts with the franchise owner.
Fantastic. What are you guys doing, or what's kind of maybe your philosophy on sort of the ongoing education piece at the franchisor level? Conference attendance and different things like that, and taking opportunities to get together with your peers, the folks that are also at the franchisor level and other founders and kind of getting their perspective and always learning and things like that too. What do you all engage you in there? Yeah.
So our industry, our trade association, the Irrigation Association, then the National Association of Landscape Professionals, they have a lot of great training materials, which we really leverage and latch on. Internally, we have staff. We call them like Jay Gray, for example, the professor. He's teaching a class today, CIT, Certified Irrigation Technician, to 20 of our technicians in the system. So we're a firm believer in education, firm believer in continuing that education, and then always being on the cutting edge. We have product committees. We have a franchise advisory council that helps guide us, right? What's important to them? What are some of the pain points? What are some of the hurdles? And what are areas that we can invest in? So we have technology committees made up of franchisees. Same thing. They got their fingers on the pulse of the industry. We've got sales committees. We've got overall product committees, things like that. So we're constantly doing that. We have twice a year we're together in person where we have our mid-season recharge, right? Most people retreat. I'm quirky that way. We recharge, right? We go forward with things. And it is a time, and that's usually the end of August. We come together as a group. And then we get together once per year. All 4 outdoor living brands come together, and that's coming up here at the end of January. And we're prepping for that now. It's in Charleston. And it's going to be a blast. We're going to have over 100 people in the Conserva training room alone. We'll have over 425 people, franchisees and spouses at the conference. And it's all about education. It's action packed. It's all about awards. It's all about making for sure we recognize our franchisees and our Z's. I don't know if this goes out post that conference or before that conference, but what our franchisees don't know, I'll let you in a little secret, is we're across the street in this theater for Conserva on the stage, right, of this theater, and then we've got the curtains closed. And what the franchise owners don't know is I've hired a local high school band, 4 buses of kids, right? Here they're coming in. And so that first day of the conference is on Sunday. And at 4:15 they arrive, and they're going to come into the auditorium part of it, come down the stairs and all the front steps and stuff. Drum major's got his big ladder up like that, and then they're going to start the drum cadence, and everybody's going to be. And I got 200 football jerseys made up, right? And it says national champs with the Conserva logo on the back. It's Conserva and a big 01, right? And we're going to celebrate a national championship, and we're going to open up those curtains on that stage, and they're going to play the fight song, and they're going to have the rah rah and all that stuff. The whole place is just going to erupt. We've got balloons, we've got confetti, we've got videographers that I hired for it. So it's what does that have to do with education? Everything, because everybody wants to celebrate success, and together we're celebrating our success of achieving that first goal in our year of greatness, which has become the largest landscape irrigation contractor. And so that just fuels the fire. It's going to be so much fun. Then that evening we get all dudded up into nice jackets and gowns and all that stuff. And we've got the top 5 in sales. We celebrate the franchisee of the year. We celebrate, we get to see that across all the brands at Outdoor Living Brands, and how exciting that is. And so those are the types of things. It's important. People, they just want to be recognized. They're not recognized generally in corporate America. You're usually recognized for not showing up, not doing what's right, not hitting production numbers. Here we celebrate success. And I feel that those sitting on the outside that aren't recognized, that perhaps might be the best form of recognition, right? Because it's like, man, next year I'm getting on that stage. And then I've set it up where, we meet every single week, right? So that we have what we call weekly Z chat. I run that. And we consistently, 65, 70 people are on this every single week. And it's a way for them to plug in. And that first Tuesday after, it's every Tuesday, the first Tuesday after the 10th of the month, Scoreboard Tuesday, right? Scoreboard tells a story. And you're competing. If you're going to be in that top 10, or you're competing, what I like about it even more so is we created something called Magnificent Milestones, where you're competing against yourself. When was your first $10,000 a month in sales? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, all the way up. This year we had a guy and gal hit 600,000 in a single month. It's just crazy. So who thinks of that? It's just amazing, right? Where who would have ever thought we started a company like this where people are doing that, right? And having great bottom lines, those folks are at over 23% on their bottom line. It's a lot of money. So it's exciting. We're checking boxes. We're making for sure that people are having fun along the way, and that they can celebrate together with their peers, but they can leverage. We have peer groups, we have peer counseling, we have peer support, right? So they can reach out to each other and they can leverage and learn, best practices and how to avoid pitfalls. So education comes in many different forms.
Despite what some may say out there in today's world, people love to do business with people, and people want to be happy, and people want to have fun. And I celebrate you celebrating at coming up, because I think that is absolutely essential and crucial for a great culture.
Right on.
Trevor loves a reveal. Your reveal idea is fantastic.
I love a good surprise. She's
but
right.
I do want to make sure we don't publish this episode before that happens.
Right, which is January 30th, right? Sunday, January 30th. So it'd be awesome if we could delay that just for a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And we'll have it all on film. Like I said, I got a local Charleston media group to come in, and they're going to be filming all of it, and we're going to have a blast. But it's important, right? So, and people want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves, something that's special, something that's unique, and they want to be able to look back. I mean, how cool is that? I look back 15 years ago to go, listen, first franchisee of Mosquito Squad, right? That's pretty cool. And look what that was first of its kind. It created an industry of private mosquito abatement. There had never been anything like that. And then to have a seat at the table, to have a group of individuals value your opinion and value your experiences, say, here's what we're learning. Here's what we're finding for products that are working. Well, it's the same thing with Conserva Irrigation. How many times, I'm getting goosebumps just going through it. How many times in your life, and we struck it twice, first to market. And we've got people, right, given an opportunity to have a seat at the table. We believe in what we call cooperation, something I coined, which is cooperating, collaborating, working together, but competing, right? Competing. And having fun around the competition. But we love our franchisees. We value their experience from all different industries. And that's lumped into this model. This isn't my model. It started out as a concept, more of a beer napkin idea, or 3 or 500, something like that. Mm-hmm. But it evolved over time. And with every new franchisee, another great idea. And it constant. That's why Conserva will never, ever, ever be number 2 in the space. Ever. Can't. Just mathematically doesn't work out.
Impossible. This is a franchisor of the highest order. Russ, we've loved having you here with us. We've learned so much. We understand your passion. We feel it. And we know that your franchisees do as well. And that's why the growth is going to happen. Folks, this has been a revelation. It's going all the way across the nation. It's been Conserva Irrigation. And Russ, thank you so much, man. We truly appreciated having you on.
Come on.